Hello everybody, we have a lot of topics to cover today and not a lot of time to do it in. So let's just get started. So first and foremost, one of the state representatives of Hawaii has decided to come out and declare loot boxes in video games gambling. He called Star Wars Battlefront 2 a Star Wars themed online casino. And furthermore, likened the whole online gambling in video games to be like Joe Camel promoting cigarettes, being promoted to children. And this is something that he very much wants to legislate against. So here we are. Now, for those who are wondering, the Skyrim script extender, SKSE, has a special edition build for the newest version of Skyrim. Keep in mind that, of course, Skyrim could go and update again, thereby breaking it, but the funny part is this came out the day of my video telling people how to roll back their versions of Skyrim. But it's still valid, by the way, rolling back your version of Skyrim, so if you were using the older version, you don't need to update. Likewise, if a newer version comes along and tricks you into updating, you can roll back to this one. So the video still has some value. Moving along, we have Tale of Two Wastelands, which is the mega mod that takes Fallout 3's content and puts it into the New Vegas engine so you can play as the Vault Wanderer from Vault 101 and then eventually go to New Vegas and become a courier. Tale of Two Wastelands 3.0 is slated to bring all kinds of changes to it, and they're getting a lot closer to that final release. However, as of their last news update, they're looking for C++ and C# programmers who can work on their installer for them. So it goes without saying that when Tale of Two Wastelands hits 3.0, I will be live streaming it on my channel, twitch.tv/Zahakuran. But until then, let's get down to the main event, which is the Steam sale. Many of my Steam sale suggestions are recurring and happen every Steam sale, but let's get into this anyway. First and foremost, I recommend picking up the Gothic Universe Edition, which is the first 3 Gothic games. Out of the 3, if you were hard-pressed to just pick one, I would pick Gothic 2. However, for $4 US in most regions, you can get the first 3. It's a damn good deal. People ask me what's the closest to Morrowind, Oblivion, Daggerfall, Skyrim, that type of game style. And some people will tell you that Two Worlds is the way to go. I would say Gothic is the way to go. However, it's very much a more classical RPG. And that comes with all the kind of difficulties that arises with that genre, especially the earlier games in that genre. Still, if I had to pick out just one game for the entire Steam sale, it would definitely be Gothic 2. Now, yes, I am aware that Elix exists, but it's only a 10% discount, and it's not currently worth getting if a Steam sale is really what you're after. Speaking of this Steam sale, I have enjoyed a Steam Link in my home for quite some time. They're currently selling this one for $5. It's a device that allows you to stream your games from your computer to your television using Steam controllers or other Bluetooth-style devices to control your games. Now, obviously, a Steam controller is by far the best way to control your games with a Steam Link. And while the Steam Link does have wireless capability, unless you have a monster of a router, we're talking about not the kind that your internet service provider gives you, but rather a industrial-grade router meant for businesses, you're probably going to want to have a wire going from your router to your Steam Link. That's my suggestion anyway. The quality at which the gameplay is streamed is based on your bandwidth. Keep that in mind. Either way, for $5, this is a pretty good deal. Moving on, though. Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Game of the Year Edition. I recently picked this up on GOG, that's Good Old Games, and you can probably find a pretty good deal over there as well. However, I'd be remiss not mentioning this game because it is, in my opinion, one of the best games of the last decade or so. And this version of it comes with the DLCs, which are arguably better than the base game. Moving along, however, we have the Doom Classic Complete. There's a reason why almost every first-person shooter made in the next 8 or so years was referred to as a Doom clone. Why the entire genre of first-person shooters were known as Doom clones is because Doom was that good. It wasn't the first first-person shooter, but it was the first one to do it that well. So, in this package, you can get Ultimate Doom, which is an expanded version of the first Doom. You can get Doom 2, which is considered to be the best Doom game ever made. I kind of prefer Ultimate Doom myself, but, you know, I'm just telling you what the prevailing opinion is. Either way, the master levels for Doom and Final Doom are examples of paid modding. These groups of modders, or map makers, formed studios and then officially licensed their content. They were sold as expansion packs. Even though these are more or less standalone to the base game, you can play whichever one of the 4 you want. But my recommendation, honestly, is to get the whole bundle. It's less than $4 US currently. And no matter which of these 4 you play, I recommend going and picking up the Zandronum engine. Zandronum engine is based off of Skulltag and is currently the best multiplayer engine for Doom, period. It can also run single-player Doom very well. If you want to play Doom cooperatively with your friends, which you'd have to be crazy not to want to do, this is the way to do it. Additionally, if you're going to go and play Zandronum, I recommend going one step further and downloading the Brutal Doom mod and using either the Ultimate Doom, Doom 2, the master levels for Doom, or Final Doom in Brutal Doom in the Zandronum engine. Brutal Doom pioneered a lot of the things that you would eventually see in the 2016 reboot of Doom, and really it is just an amazing way to play the game. So that's all I have to say on Doom. Next up we have NieR Automata. This is one of my top games of the year. People underestimate this because they see, well, more or less anime on the cover. And whilst the creator received notifications that people were making porn of his game, aka Rule 34, he very maturely said, "This concerns me greatly. Please gather up as much of this pornographic fan art as you can and send it to me in the form of a zip file so that I can properly gauge what's going on the internet." That's what he said. He just wanted people to send him porn of his characters. Either way, he was delighted when people actually sent it to him because he is a freaking nerd. That said, this is a very nihilistic game where nothing matters, but in the sense, what is in the moment is what matters. I don't really know how to put it into words that wouldn't take 45 or 50 minutes, so instead, I'm just going to say it's good, you should buy it. Oh, and by the way, the action, done by Platinum Games, the people who did Bayonetta and stuff like that. So, one of my top games of the year by far. And currently 40% off. Moving along, also 40% off is Earth Defense Force 4.1, The Shadow of New Despair. If you thought the last one was anime, this one is just flat out Starship Troopers. Imagine a bunch of soldiers, each slightly pitch shifted so they sound a little bit different to one another, all shouting, "EDF, EDF, we will kill them with bullets," and so on and so forth. It is hilarious and extremely fun. Virtually every building is destructible, and things will just get more and more ridiculous as you proceed on with the game. It's 4-player co-op. You can play it with less people on easier difficulties. However, if you really want to have those edge of your seat moments, gotta have 4 people on voice chat at the same time. Yeah, it's based on kills more than anything else.
So if you get a good one, you can just keep.
Yeah.
Do you love how I juggle the enemies?
I noticed. Absolutely noticed.
Oh, I didn't kill that guy.
Okay. No clue. The Gigantus... The attack whale's ready to go again. There we go. Yeah, it's working. Oh my. Damn it. They're in that neighborhood. The only thing on this sale I'd argue is better for 4-player co-op than EDF would probably be Warhammer the End Times Vermintide. Imagine Left 4 Dead, except against hordes and hordes of rat men. The Skaven have come, and the Chaos Gods are saying it is time to end the game. And so you have to, using 4 heroes, fight back the vermin and try to survive. Imagine if you took Left 4 Dead as the base game, made it more melee-centric than ranged, but gave you some ranged weapons to deal with things like hunters, aka assassins, or smokers, aka the Skaven hook rats, or the tanks, aka the rat ogres. Everything that made Left 4 Dead great, Vermintide does just a little bit better. Throw in some loot progression, and you've got yourself a great co-op experience. This being 75% off currently. Next up, for a more single-player centric game, I recommend The West of Loathing. It is a stick figure Western adventure role-playing game. If that isn't a mouthful, it is actually a damn good descriptor for it. There are choices, and those choices will have consequences. It's a real role-playing game, hilarious as it is. One of the most standout parts is when you're setting up your character, and you're able to either do standard progression, where your stats will be allocated automatically, or you can do manual stat allocation, and the game will tell you you can become an unbalanced weirdo if you allocate your own stats as you level up, but that's just kind of the way the West of Loathing goes. The game's only 11% off, but that brings it under $10, and for less than $10, this is definitely a game worth having. Now let's go into a little more of a niche genre, shall we? For side-scrolling platformers, I'm sure I could recommend Hollow Knight or Dead Cells and all those other games, but a lot of people have those already, so let's go with a Mega Man-like game. This is Azure Striker Gunvolt. These are the people who made Mega Man 0, 1 through 4, and Mega Man ZX. They went on to make Azure Striker Gunvolt, and Azure Striker Gunvolt is the most Mighty No. 9-like game in existence, meaning you shoot the enemy until it is vulnerable, and then you use your special move to kill it. Except unlike Mighty No. 9, this mechanic is done extremely well. These are the people who made Mighty No. 9, but their hand wasn't forced by a certain, what were they calling him, the father of Mega Man? Either way, my point being, if you want Mighty No. 9 except done well, like this is what Mighty No. 9 should have been, Azure Striker Gunvolt, all the way. Next up, I need to tell you all something. I am not a fan of strategy games, never have been. I played through StarCraft for the story, played through Warcraft 3 for the story. I think that Dune 2, Emperor Battle for Dune, and Command & Conquer Tiberian Sun were really the only strategy games I really liked for being strategy games, but I didn't like any of them in multiplayer. So, yeah, strategy's not my jam. However, despite that, there is enough complexity and depth in Homeworld Remastered that I really, really enjoyed it. My favorite game in the series by far is, of course, Homeworld 2, where you have this gigantic mothership called the Pride of Hugara, which is your base. And it's a mobile base, and you construct buildings on the surface of the Pride of Hugara. So if you want to build a war factory to produce a certain kind of ship, you do so on the actual surface of the mothership. And it gets kind of intense having your base an actual thing that moves around with you. It's filled with unique mechanics and real-time strategy in space, so it's just done very, very well. The entire collection's 70% off. Highly recommended to strategy fans. Now, if you're one of those weirdos who really likes JRPGs, I'd recommend Grandia 2. It's an upbeat, high-energy JRPG with religious overtones and pretty much just, you've got to go and kill God using the power of friendship. Not really, but that's more or less the theme anyway. It's 50% off. I wouldn't buy it if it weren't on sale, let's put it like that. So going down the Japanese rabbit hole a little further, are you a fan of visual novels? Visual novels are more or less a series of pictures with text at the bottom, and all action is pretty much depicted in text. Well, if you enjoy visual novels, my favorite of all time are the Umineko, both the question arcs and the answer arcs. The question arcs are on sale right now, and the answer arcs don't make any sense if you don't play the question arcs first, so take advantage of the Steam sale, pick yourself up a visual novel. It's definitely entertaining, and I do love the Golden Witch Beatrice in a way that may not be incredibly healthy. So let's jump from not incredibly healthy to just outright gutter trash. Onichambra Z2 Chaos is a garbage game that I really, really enjoy playing. Imagine Dynasty Warriors meets Devil May Cry, and then replace all the characters with big-boobed Japanese girls. Have half of them be demons, have the other half be vampires, and have them fight all kinds of zombies. Bikini-clad girls killing zombies. It's both fun and 40% off. That's about it. The only other things I'd possibly recommend are both Torchlights 1 and 2. They are by the original creators of Diablo 2, the people who left Blizzard and went to make other things. Torchlight 1 is very much like Diablo 1.5, and Torchlight 2 is very close to being Diablo 2. Torchlight 1 is single player only, but will give you hours upon hours of delight, especially if you take advantage of the modding video I have for Torchlight 1. And then Torchlight 2 is more of the same, however, spanning multiple areas and multiplayer. So if you want to play co-op with your friends, Torchlight 2 is the way to go. Torchlights 1 and 2 are currently 80% off. And again, highly recommended. That's about it for this Steam sale. I don't have anything else to talk about at this time. I've got about 3 videos in production right now at various stages, and they will be out intermixed between Skyrim VODs from Twitch. So circling back around to my original topic, I do think that predatory practices in video games need to be looked at, and the self-regulation, the ESRB, has existed merely to prop up the games industry and let them get away with as much as possible without the government stepping in and regulating it. But eventually, like where cartoons were marketing cigarettes to children.
Let's take a Winston break. That's it! Winston is the one filter cigarette that delivers flavor 20 times a pack. Winston packs rich tobaccos specially selected and specially processed for good flavor in filter smoking.
We eventually had to put a stop to it because industries that can use predatory practices will use predatory practices. The end game of unregulated capitalism is simply the exploitation of the human creature to obtain as much money as possible. A responsible society needs to be able to either stand up and say, no, this isn't acceptable, or unfortunately make the government do it, and that's the suboptimal answer. And it's unfortunate we've reached that suboptimal answer, but Belgium has already declared this gambling, and I'm really hoping that the rest of the states will follow suit and call gambling for what it is. Exploiting gambling psychological triggers in people in order to get them addicted. Addiction is a terrible thing, and exploiting addiction is, well, despicable. So that's where we have it. I don't want government regulation, but at this point...
At the end of the day, even if it's not perfect, it's better than nothing. At least that's my opinion.
It's better than nothing. Oh, wait. Ignore that. Thank y'all for watching. Check the links on the screen for more content, and I will see y'all next time.
I would like to offer advice to the soldiers. After examining dead giant insects...
Oh, you might want to fall back a little. There's quite a few
In
of them.
7 years, they have evolved and grown stronger. They are covered
Oh no,
by
it's
a
run out.
stronger shell and cannot be killed easily. But it is not a problem. EDF's equipment has also grown stronger in 7 years. You can definitely beat the evolved giant insects. I wish you good luck in battle.
Oh fuck, I forgot to pick up...
This is just so awful. Oh my.
This is Ranger 16. The data is incorrect. The giant insects are stronger and more violent than ever before. We can't do this by ourselves.
Ranger 16, you're supposed to be trained in fighting giant insects. Hold your ground.
You're supposed to be trained in fighting giant insects.
Insects. Requesting
Yeah.
wing diver support.
Oh my.
What sharp pinchers. This is Ranger 16. They're picking up people like rag dolls.
Oh shoot. There are a lot of them.
Yeah, and these ones shoot acid, so...
Oh,
It will take time
Yeah.
for wing divers to arrive. Hold your ground. You
Hold
need
your
to
ground.
protect the citizens.
okay. Summoning a new Greg.
Yes, sir.
Ooh. There we go.
That thing can also fly,
Really?
I think.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I think it's...
Jump does nothing.
I can't remember what... Space or something? I can't
Space
remember.
does not do anything.
Ah. All I know is it's... You have to hold the button down.
Here we go.
You thought I was a mech.
Yes. This is fine. Believe me. I'll buy you a drink. There's one over here. Got it. Hell yeah. Jumping for it.
Enemy is not damaged.
Did it miss?
To save our Mother Earth from any alien attack.
What are you doing, Joe?
Did you go to that one place? To save our Mother Earth from any alien attack. Take care of my family.
Okay. Spider over there.
Tempest impact. Still no damage.
Damn.
How can that be?
Are you happy? Give me time to think.
Yeah, this is interesting the way the mech works. It's certainly better than the tank, that's for sure.
Linear cannon hit. Enemy not damaged.
What's going on?
So the storyline is pretty much just everything that's going on while you're not there. Like
No.
it's just everything that is happening in other places, I notice.
Tempest
Yeah.
We cannot confirm damage.
Don't worry, that changes.
Okay.
The game's easing you into it.
Yeah. Oh my. There are a lot of enemies around here.
I like this weapon.
What
It
do you
goes
have?
through enemies and hits other enemies behind them.
Cannon impact. Enemy no damage.
And I'm flying.
Where are you anyway?
Oh
You went
shit, he's
down.
stuck.
Where?
Tempest fifth formation impact.
I'll go get him.
Enemy no
Okay.
damage. It looks like attacks are being obstructed by something like a wall.
This is so funny.
It is a shield screen
Okay.
big enough to cover another shielded ground kind of technology.
Summoning another mech.
We're gonna continue the battle.
Oh, we're done. So yeah, pretty much two mechs seem to be good enough thus far. We'll see. But yeah, I'm happy how this is working. fine though.
Giant insects again after 7 years. But soon
Yep.
they'll be an endangered species.
There's nothing to fear. Let's exterminate.
Except for itself.
Come on.
Keep the giant creatures away from the tanks.
Oh shoot. That
Oh, no,
I forgot
KGB.
how many of those were. We defeated one enemy. This is something that's happening.
Oh no!
Oh my.
They move so fast.
Yep. That's why I just started backing up and I never stopped. The bullets are stuck. Okay. This is fine.
I was
not
also
flying
getting a
ants.
slight bit of lag, so
Yep.
between me and you. Oh,
Yep.
get off you!
Wham! This is a thing. Oh, hello.
That's
okay?
yeah. I've got close range weapons on, so I'm quite good at.
Yeah. This is pretty impressive so far. Wham!
Hurry up! I was almost dead.
All the screams made you jump.
Yes, sir.
Oh my. I switched classes. I'm trying the generic soldier now. Seems very versatile. You know, the guy I was playing before focuses specifically on vehicles. I should try Jet's class as well at some point, but
Oh yeah, it's
bored. Any enemies?
it's a really good class.
there's one in the distance there. Yep. Good.
Good morning, Vietnam.
But yeah, when I saw those ants coming, I just started to run backwards and never stopped. My goodness. Yes. Yes, that it is. This is... Wait. There we go.
I owe you my life.
This is fine. This works.
Yeah, if you fly over the top of them and use that, it's really good.
Like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I have the great crowd control weapon on right now.
So, there's no way to quick charge your thing. It's just a case of don't fly, right?
Yep. Basically, don't let it run out fully, and it will charge
Yeah.
faster. And,
Okay.
well, you won't have to wait.
This is fine. Yeah. I can see what you mean with quick tapping it. And I can definitely see what you meant by just standing over it and doing that.
Report the
Yeah.
situation.
Yep.
Especially when you have a better rapier, you should.
That armor is really ridiculous. Yes, yes it is. All the other classes actually make sense. This is not.
Sir.
This entire class does not make sense, though.
Yeah, everything else.
Why now?
Everything else makes sense. Oh shit.
The giant insects were all destroyed.
Yep.
The last one was supposed to have been killed in Arizona. Some must have survived, hiding out for 7
Okay.
years.
Oh, when you reload the weapon, it takes like huge chunks of your power.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I had
And
no
some
idea.
weapons take directly from your power.
Okay. This is fine though. Thank you for the weapon, game. Okay. So when it gets to the yellow, that's when it goes slow?
All right, we got tanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoa.
Well, it'll go to red and then you're pretty much
Okay.
screwed.
Yep. This is fine, I guess. It's an interesting way of playing, but I think I prefer the Ranger. You know, obviously, this literally is tits and ass, the character. But, again, Ranger is just, it's such a enjoyable playstyle.
Stay close to
So.
the armor.
Ain't nobody getting past
I mean,
this, baby.
these pigtails are, like, directional thrusters. Or, stabilizers. It's so ridiculous.
Really good.
No, just ridiculous. Yep.
Yeah.
Wham.